Every generation believes it's freer than the last. We tell ourselves we can think what we want, say what we want, live how we want. But freedom today feels more like a brand than a reality. We vote, we post, we scroll, we choose, but somehow the world never changes as much as we expect. Because real control doesn't always look like dictatorship. Sometimes it looks like choice. Thousands of options, infinite content, endless voices. It all feels like liberation, but it's an illusion. A perfect design overwhelms the mind with choice until it stops questioning who created the menu. The modern citizen doesn't need a ruler. They need a feed that tells them who to love, what to hate, what to buy, and what to believe. And we call that freedom. Every click, every scroll, every yes and no is recorded, studied, and turned into prediction. Not to understand you, but to guide you. You think you're choosing. You're being nudged. Google decides what information you see. TikTok decides what you crave. Netflix decides how you unwind. The illusion works because it's invisible. You still feel in control, but the boundaries of your choices are drawn by code, by corporations, by unseen designers. And the scariest part? You like it. We all do. Freedom now feels like frictionless convenience. No effort, no discomfort, no thought. But real freedom, it's supposed to feel messy, uncertain, difficult. That's what makes it real. So if comfort is control and choice is illusion, what's left of freedom? In a world where algorithms shape desire before desire is born, how can you tell which thoughts are yours and which were planted in you? Maybe freedom never disappeared. Maybe it was redesigned. Freedom, they tell you, means having choices. But no one asks who builds the shelf of choices. We're told you can pick your leaders. Yet every election, the same corporations fund both sides. Policies change, systems don't. That's not freedom, that's theater. We're told you can buy whatever you want. But most of what we want was scripted by marketing teams months ago. They study our eyes, our pauses, our impulses, and sell us the illusion that we discovered what they invented. Every brand sells rebellion now. Every product promises individuality. And somehow, everyone ends up wanting the same things. That's not coincidence. That's architecture. Behind every free choice is a map, invisible, mathematical, predictive. Algorithms don't control you by force. They shape the environment where your choices happen. They decide what you see first. They hide what you might have questioned.
Outrage, comfort, repeat. The two emotions that keep the system running. The platforms say you decide what to watch. But recommendation systems learn your triggers faster than you learn yourself. They feed you more of what keeps you scrolling, not what sets you free. We are rats in a maze that built itself around us. And the cheese is dopamine. You believe you're forming opinions, but opinions are being delivered to you. Every headline written to spark emotion. Every comment section designed to divide. Each click builds a mirror that shows you a version of reality perfectly tailored to your bias. That's not liberation. That's containment disguised as comfort. The genius of modern control is subtlety. No one's forced to obey. They simply guide attention until resistance feels unnecessary. Freedom used to mean I choose. Now it means I agree. So ask yourself, when was the last time you chose something that wasn't recommended to you?
They call it personalization, but personalization is just a polite word for prediction. Every tap, every pause, every swipe teaches the system what keeps you watching. The more it learns, the less you notice it learning, until your feed knows you better than your friends do. At first, algorithms were simple. Show people what they like. Now, they anticipate what you will like long before you know it yourself. They model your curiosity, your boredom, even your silence. You don't need to be forced to obey. You just need to be distracted long enough to forget you ever had a choice. Every scroll is a micro lesson. Stay engaged. Keep watching. Don't look away. Attention becomes currency, and you're the one being spent. Companies compete for seconds of focus, so they build systems that reward impulsive reaction, not reflection. Outrage, fear, laughter. The emotions that move fastest through the web are the ones that rise to the top. It's not that someone decided to control you. It's that the system learned what works best on the human brain, and it optimized for it.
The longer you stay, the more data you give. The more data you give, the easier you are to predict. And predictable behavior is controllable behavior. You think you're expressing yourself online, but often you're performing for an invisible audience that grades every word with likes and views. We're trained by feedback loops, a Pavlovian rhythm of approval and avoidance. Every notification is a tiny electric shock. Every like, a microdose of validation. We chase them because the platform rewards us when we do. That's the algorithm of obedience, a system that never orders you to stay. It simply makes leaving feel wrong. The trick isn't censorship, it's saturation. There's so much noise that silence starts to feel impossible. And in the noise, real freedom drowns quietly. So if algorithms teach us what to want, who's teaching us what to value?
Every society builds an invisible wall around thought. It doesn't block information. It defines which information feels safe. From childhood, we're told what success looks like, what intelligence sounds like, what normal means. We learn to memorize answers faster than we learn to ask questions. That's not education. That's conditioning. Schools teach us how to fit in. Media teaches us what to care about. Culture teaches us what to fear. And by the time we're adults, we call the cage common sense. Look around. People argue endlessly online about politics, brands, and personalities. But the real boundaries of belief are rarely touched, because questioning those boundaries feels dangerous. We're trained to mistake debate for depth. We think we're exploring truth, but most conversations happen inside walls we didn't build. The news says, here's what matters today. Entertainment says, here's what you should escape with. Together, they build a rhythm: outrage, distraction, repeat. Not because someone wants to control you, but because attention has become a marketplace, and belief is the product.
The architecture of belief isn't enforced by fear anymore. It's maintained by belonging. We stay inside the lines because stepping outside risks isolation. Humans fear loneliness more than oppression. And that's why soft control works so well. When everyone around you repeats the same ideas, silence starts to sound like rebellion. And that's when real thinking begins, in the quiet, uncomfortable spaces that no algorithm can reach. No one has to tell you what to think anymore. They just have to make you afraid to think differently. Awakening doesn't mean rejecting everything. It means noticing how belief is built and choosing what to rebuild for yourself.
Every system needs a currency. Ours isn't gold, it's approval. Likes, shares, followers. Tiny symbols of belonging that decide what has value and who does. The digital world didn't invent our need for validation, it industrialized it. The more you depend on approval, the easier it is to shape what you say, what you post, even what you believe. That's why control today doesn't come from fear. It comes from feedback. You post something bold, the likes drop. You say something unpopular, the silence hits harder than criticism. And slowly you start editing yourself. That's self-censorship, the final upgrade of control. No one needs to silence you. You do it willingly to protect your place in the crowd. We traded the courage to stand alone for the comfort of fitting in. We measure truth in engagement. We measure worth in visibility. And we've mistaken connection for conformity. The system rewards obedience, not by force, but by attention. It amplifies what aligns. It hides what doesn't. And in that silence, genuine thought disappears quietly.
Cancel culture, virtue signaling, different names for the same mechanism. Social control wrapped in moral language. No one wants to be the villain, so everyone performs purity. We stopped asking what's right. We started asking what's safe. And when safety becomes the highest virtue, freedom becomes the first casualty. We are all curating ourselves for approval, shaping our identities to survive in the marketplace of perception. The currency is attention. The cost is authenticity. Every generation thinks it's rebelling, but rebellion without risk is just branding. And the system loves branded rebellion because it changes nothing. Real freedom isn't found in applause. It's found in the moments you act without expecting it.
The first step to leaving any maze is seeing the walls. Not tearing them down, just seeing them. Because the opposite of control isn't chaos, it's consciousness. We spend our lives chasing comfort, approval, certainty. But freedom starts where comfort ends. When you stop scrolling for permission, when you start noticing silence instead of noise, when you realize you can't be completely liked and completely honest at the same time. That's the moment you touch the edge of real freedom. The exit was never hidden by others. It's hidden by fear. The fear of being misunderstood, of standing alone, of thinking differently. Freedom doesn't feel good at first. It feels like loss, because you lose certainty, you lose belonging, you lose the comfort of being told you're right. But that loss is the doorway. Freedom isn't in the argument or the algorithm or the applause. It's in the quiet space between reactions, the part of you that notices before it obeys. That's where power begins to shift back.
The truth is, the system can't control what you're aware of controlling. Once you see the strings, they stop pulling you the same way. Every scroll can become a choice. Every silence, a statement. Every moment of awareness, a small rebellion. The exit isn't a door you run through. It's a direction you start walking toward. Every time you choose awareness
over automation. And the more people walk that path, the less power the illusion holds. Because the system doesn't fear rebellion, it fears awakening. Freedom isn't something to win, it's something to remember.
Maybe the illusion of freedom was never built to trap us. Maybe it was built to test whether we'd notice. Every era has its systems. Every generation inherits a new kind of cage. But what defines us isn't the walls, it's whether we learn to see through them. We can't unplug from the world. We live in it, but we can move differently inside it. Notice what steals your attention. Ask who profits when you're distracted. Question ideas that feel too comfortable. That's not rebellion, that's awareness. The point isn't to fight the system endlessly. It's to stop feeding it unconsciously. When you see how the illusion works, you stop mistaking the screen for the world. You start reclaiming the one thing no algorithm can predict: your awareness. Real freedom begins the moment you realize no one can give it to you, because it was never theirs to own. So ask yourself right now, when you strip away approval, comfort, noise, what's left? That's you, unfiltered, uncontrolled, alive. Unmasking power, awakening minds.